Hello, everybody. Hello, hello. Welcome to my journal. This is Lily Olasova. Today I'm making some noise. Hello, whoever's joining me. Welcome to my journal. Today is January 19th, 2020. So thank you so much for joining me on this Sunday. So this is going to be a confessions Sunday. So I'm going to make some noise today. So let's enjoy this time, you guys. Oh, this is going to be an interesting one. So what am I going to be talking about? Let the world witness the truth, you guys. So this is our shamanic journey. And so thank you so much, everyone, for joining. Zuzi, Sis, you want to say hi? Say hi. Okay. Hello, everybody. Hello, hello. So we're going to talk today about witnessing your own shamanic journey or witnessing your own transformation and then applying all of that to what is happening on the collective level, you guys. So I'm going to be talking today about collective levels and how to, when you're truly awake, how to sort of have a little bit of fun with what is going to be unfolding with the collective human consciousness, or that totality, or the effect of New Age on the totality of human consciousness. So this is kind of what I want to touch on today. Hi, Lance. Thank you so much for joining. So this is basically what I want to touch on today is I want to talk about witnessing the truth. What is it really about? And this is what I've been following a lot, is the truth movement. And so we talk about truth a lot. And what is truth? And truth is sort of it's each and every one of your story. That's your truth. So my truth is my story, my life, whatever's happening here. So I'm going to be talking a little bit about, of course, from my own perspective, always from my own perspective on what is going on with the sort of, and those of you guys that know me, you know that I talk about stuff that, kind of years in advance to things that will be manifesting on the levels of human consciousness and what to expect basically with the truth movement, and how truth movement being infiltrated like everything else, and just like religion, and just like everything else, just like spirituality. And so what I want to talk about, which is a difficult thing to talk about, is the truth. And like I said, for each and every one of you that is on your own shamanic journey, you live in your truth. Okay? You live in it. So that's your story. That's your creation. This is your life here. And so you're the one that live here, and all of your relationships and all of the things that you sort of create in this life. This is your shamanic journey. And so all the family or your tribe, as you many of you like to call it, your tribe is the people that surround you, or the people that are in your community, whatever community it might be. You guys are my tribe right out here online on YouTube. So here we go. So I'm gonna have some confessions. So of course, for that, I gotta have some. You guessed it, vino. So vino day today. So I'm gonna be drinking some wine and making some confessions about some of the personal experiences that once you go through them, the kind of, and you get to the other side, or you get to the point to where you do find yourself and you do find your truth, um, then it's kind of easy to see the truth for the totality, because once you accept your individual truth for yourself, and then you are the one who then restructures their own reality, if there is a need for it, to where you are completely in your own bubble of creation, where your reality is self-generated, self-operated, and self-directed. And so that doesn't mean that you're hiding under the bush somewhere from negative energy, because you're a shaman. You don't do that. You're a warrior. You go into the middle of whatever it is that your spirit drives you, because that's your passion, is here for certain energy to sort of to transmute on the individual level. So then that energy is then, or that ability is present for the totality of human consciousness. And this is how human consciousness evolution kind of works, right? And some of the people, hi Natasha, and some of the people talk about this as though it's 9900 monkey effect type of thing, but that's a very sort of simple explanation. But what is the oneness, or the totality of creation, when you are experiencing that within yourself, meaning you're experiencing yourself as being part of the human consciousness unfolding here, and your living soul has got a path to unfold. And so you're a true sort of your higher being is here in this reality. And this is what I like to talk about. You're in this reality, but you're not of it. Okay, because we are welcoming a new age. And so now, for those of you that gone through this experience on your own personal level, so now those experiences are registered, and they're all everything is recorded. And so all of that goes into the totality of human consciousness. And so as I was talking about, how does this collective human consciousness healing stage will start? And this is what I talk about right now, because this is where we are at. Hi, Naraf. Oh my God. Hola. Thank you so much for joining. And Yagua, thank you. So anyway, what happens is, what we do on individual level has effect on the totality of human consciousness. And what does that mean? That has an effect on evolution. What does that mean? That means that our individual process of this restructuring our own, as I like to say, quantum field, or restructuring your own aura to where it's in alignment with the universal heartbeat. That's what we're aligning ourselves to, that universal sun or universal heartbeat as humanity. And this is the evolution that human consciousness takes. And so through the unfoldment of living soul. And so what happens is, once enough individuals on a collective level, on the total of humanity here in this reality, have done the work of awakening, transmuting, and realigning themselves to their true nature, which is this original, genetics, you can call DNA, whatever it is, but it's a human blueprint. And that's those of you that hear, who you are. Anyway, so when you align yourself, meaning in your body, in your conscious mind, so that's when your Holy Trinity activates. Some people call this awakening, or in the past, even Kundalini rising. But I don't like to use those terms because that was also all hijacked. So you guys, you got to understand, I'm using kind of in a way my own language here, because so much of terms have been hijacked because of this invasion of human consciousness that only operates on mimicking a human being. Okay, any quantum computers, or the best of computers they got out there, what do they need for it? What does it need to be intelligent? The thing, without a human being, or without reading human beings' minds, it cannot mimic anything. If there is nothing to, if there is no original human being that is expressing original thinking and original thoughts, and operates on its original genetics and original line, and the blood codes are working and all of that. So when all of that happens, none of this artificial, no matter how high quantum, whatever they say it is, without human being, without the original, it has no intelligence. Do you see what I'm saying? It reads the totality too. That's why some of it is very quick, because it picks up right from there. Okay, so now when we look at things from this perspective, and this is why I look at things from a different perspective, you guys, at everything, anywhere I go. And anywhere, I've noticed that long ago, and so I've learned that. And so that's why I say, when you hear of, you seeing things in a different way. Hi, Diane. Oh, you made it again. Hey. Hi, Jose. That's beautiful that you did. That's beautiful. Thank you so much for making it. So anyway, but because remember what I was talking about, the access, because when you come to a point when you know what you hear, like a shaman, when you step into your shaman shoes, like a shaman trusts his spirit and goes in and all of that stuff, even into trance state and all of that. But that's to get to the levels of reality. So basically, as I was talking about the full spectrum, so we have the full spectrum now. And so now this is how you have access to the totality. But at the same time, as you go through this, like I've talked about, you have the access to totality of human consciousness. This is how I originally pulled the information from what is going on with human consciousness. How much of that 85% of human consciousness was on the harvesting human quanta, meaning they were on this technological genetics that were going to space dust, because this is a it's like anti-human creation, okay? Anti-human, because it has no compassion, zero compassion. So it's like almost anti-compassion. So it lives on, this is why that spirit, the anti-human spirit, or the antichrist, if you want to use Bible again, the antichrist spirit, it feeds on the suffering, okay, of human being. So think of it, a full spectrum. And now full spectrum, and then you have full spectrum for the totality of human consciousness. when you align yourself with that. So like I said, access, but at the same time, if you think about as yourself, as us as creator beings, we also have the ability and capability to come together on the and on collaborative level and bring all these things together to where this also changes the conscious level or conscious awareness of the totality. So this is why all this media is so infected with and all in so much control put over it, because this is affects the totality of human consciousness and its evolution. And so those that don't want to go human, don't want humanity to evolve, of course will do all this other stuff. So anyway, so I've talked about this. I've talked about religions and all of that, being that what they do, they are in a way. And well, I didn't keep those secrets, you guys. Right? You know that I don't keep secrets too much, that I talk about Abrahamic religions being that you know, that antichrist carrier of that spirit, because like I said, why else would you mimic drinking innocent blood, unless you're, you know, unless you're totally inside out and upside down? That's your belief systems. That's basically what happened to belief systems. So inside out and upside down. Okay, Zuzi, you want to get down? All right, I'm gonna cover him. Okay. All right. So you can just, and so you can and then here we come with some people talk of entanglements. There is no such a thing as quantum entanglements. If you've attained an individual, so if you're on individual path and you're on transformation and transmutation, and you know that you're on your own path, so there is no such a thing as quantum entanglements in your field, but there, that anybody from external sources, as I talk about a few journals back, I talk about you know, how quantum healing can only come from within, because that energy does not operate on the two-dimensional trapped energy levels. It's a completely whole different level of energy, and so it operates on a whole different set of rules. So that's why a cult doesn't really apply to someone who master themselves. It will not apply. Why? Because like I've talked about, what happens to what truly is occult energy. So and this is what I talk about. This is what my confessions are about. Once the totality, and this is what I've talked about in September of 2014. Once the totality of human consciousness or human beings on this planet awaken 10% only, it takes only 10%, and then this what is it, the monkey effect take place. Okay, then it just goes boom, and it goes down the mountain and it's avalanche down the mountain. Karma does not apply anymore. Yes, Diane. your feeling on that is absolutely right. Karma does not apply to you because there is no entanglements within you that you have not created yourself when you truly get to know yourself. The only thing way is there are entanglements, and even in my sessions when I talk to your spirit in my sessions, in the hypnosis, through the hypnosis session, I might ask if there's entanglements. But this is what I'm asking is where is it that, so then the conscious mind, your own conscious mind, then can align on that level, because your conscious mind cannot separately, only your own super conscious can align your conscious mind to that, to your higher self. There is no other way. There's no external force that can knock you into yourself. There's nothing. Just the same way as, like I said, once you master that, then you master this, and then you become fearless. And so nobody, no black magic, white magic, or any occult or anybody can step up to that, because they have no power. This is the power. This is the ultimate power, is this alignment. Yes, only take 10%, Jose. You ask, it only takes 10% of the population to wake up for that totality of human consciousness to turn the corner and move into that sort of new age. And it's been predicted that that's what's going to happen. But it's meaning 10% of wake up, meaning they are aligned, that conscious mind, right, to start thinking for themselves, because this is what waking up process is all about. Put aside all the shit, a new age shit with sparkles on it. Put it aside. True waking up is when you truly start thinking for yourself. Just when you get that your own inner motor going, then you wanted to drive places within yourself. You want to explore your own reality. You want to create your own reality. You would be so focused on your inner stuff that all of that new age stuff, it would just be, like I say, sparkles on shit. Thank you, Diane. You said you highly recommend sessions with me. Thank you. I am keep working on those, and I'm adding some different things right now. Like you guys use, I'm starting to use just simple sounds for tuning and things like that to because some of the music is just not coming through the way I like it. So so this is just this experience of this shamanic journey is just been incredible for me, you guys. It's just since the beginning of this year, or maybe that let's say January 13th. We're what, about 6 days in. I don't know about you guys, but since it's confessions, confessions, I'm going to confess about you. I just I feel like I am totally in the water, in a womb or something. I don't know how to explain this, but it feels so incredibly comfortable. The new stage of where we moving in on the collective level, energetically. So I go as and I try to feel it as much as I can. So I try to magnetize. I focus on magnetizing my own body with whatever, with the highest potential, right? So when you do that, then you magnetize your body with that, and then you can feel the energy that's coming through, or what is there in that quantum field of the totality of this reality. And so that's basically what the record is, or I'm just calling it quantum field because that's what it makes simple, because I'm not going to go scientific on anything. There's no need. There's absolutely no need. And that's why ancients and those that decided to leave us metaphors and all of that things, they did it for specific reasons, because um because of this times and how confusing things gonna be in all of this stuff. So the spiritual things, and like Gnostics, they didn't leave any writings at all, and whatever they left, Catholics stole it and killed them for it, right? So, and they try to tell them to, share their secrets. It's this because these people, they just, you can see in the like I talk about, last time, confused Russians. Why are they so confused if they're the ancient Russians? Well, because they're not. That's why they're confused. Because they're not. They don't. It's not that, like I said, instead of instead of looking for their origin, they wanted to kill every Ukrainian. Meaning, they wanted to kill their origins. So, who would want to kill their original or their ancestors? So, like that war between Russia and Ukraine, that people in the world believe it's a war. And like I said last time, it's not a war. It's not a war zone. It's just it's all charade created for some very, very nefarious activities, very evil activities, to cover for those activities. And they say it's war. And or the war is between Russians and Ukrainians. And who are Russians and Ukrainians? What's the difference between them? No difference. They all came from the same place. Used to be one country. So what is happening? You can see how that inside out communist structure and those principles, how they work. It's inside out. Okay, so that abuse of self turned inside out. So imagine that. So now on the collective level, everything that is good and that they protect is the abuse of self, because they want to eliminate their origin. As they say, that's what people believe. But like I said, it's because they're confused Russians. They're not Russians. They're imposters. They're imposters. And so, but right now, because we're coming to that point, and like you guys are said, and I said that in 2014, it will only take about 10%. But there is, on top of that, you guys remember that I said there is 3%, 3.3% of gypsy souls, which are the original souls. And so those are the ones that kind of hold the grid, the living grid from around the world. That's why you'll find out that every one of you, and even here, you guys are from all over the world. And the reason why you here, because you understand what I'm talking about, because you're operating on that frequency with me. So you're already reading this on that level. All I'm doing is you're reading the same thing. All I'm doing is just voicing for you what you're already yourself reading in on that level. So it's just what it is. So that's why it is like truth. You can't even hide the truth on collective level, because once you go through this individual process and you know what it takes to be your truth, to stand in your truth, and you know what it takes, then of course, like I said, first of all, nothing will knock you out. And second of all, um you won't be running out there like a divine idiot, and trying to tell people that, oh, he's two-dimensional, oh, he's two-dimensional symbol, oh, it's gonna put you into hell, Lily. Oh. I'm like, okay. You may as well just tattoo on your forehead, divine idiot, and that would do it. You don't even need to show me anything else. Just put it on your forehead and walk around with it. And that's all you need to do. So, okay, you guys, speaking on confessions, speaking of divine idiots, tattooing divine idiot on their forehead and just walking around, it would be great if all the divine idiots would do that. Don't you think? It would be easier for the rest of us. Miles, you said this realm craves our attention given to it shenanigans. Stop giving your attention. No, don't go hiding behind. Like I said, this is a stand down programming, kind of works a lot. Still, people think that it's just like with love of light, right? You either just close everything and think that it's love and light, okay? Or you think you just need to not see it at all. You see what I'm saying? You can't hide from anything, but not to give an attention. Don't give your energy and don't give your focus to it. Okay? And you're right, in a way, not your attention, but not to close your eyes to things that are around in your reality. Because, like I said, there is no entanglements that you should wait to undo. And this is, I think, a lot of it is this like external projections of the savior. It's so hard to like overcome that because it's so overwhelming to kind of to see your reality for what it is and be true to yourself and be honest with yourself, right? So because unless you're honest with yourself, you're not going to be true to yourself. Eventually you can't find yourself unless you're honest with yourself. And a lot of people think that okay, I can hit rock bottom. And yes, you can hit rock bottom to where everything is falling apart in your life and you go, okay, I'm going through the dark night of the soul. But at the same time, whatever the things around you, okay, you can't just say, okay, I'm just gonna not let it affect me. If it does, that means there is an entanglement, but that doesn't mean that you have to go to somebody else to untangle that for you. That means that your higher self is showing you something in the collective that maybe by you being the thinker for yourself can think that out. And now your process of thinking is available for other people to access. Do you guys understand how it works on like this overall? I think he wants to get down. Say bye to everybody, Sue. Say bye. Okay. So this is how it works in a way. And this is what I talk about, the new rules. It's not the same rules do not apply anymore. So that's why like the all of that trash, or like I said, that shit with the sparkles on it, is just flying all around right now. It doesn't make any sense. So when you attain, like again, when you attain your own truth, okay, And then what happens? And when you speak your truth, you are your truth, you are who you are. As I say, you are a creator being, and you don't, you don't run from anything. You stand so strong. You are like that tree with the roots deep into the ancient timeline, into the ancient uh living stream of consciousness. You're anchor into that. And so when that is like, it gives you that anchor, and you're unbreakable. And so the problems, then, Jose, the problems, we don't ignore the problems. We work through them, right? We work through them. We work through them in which way? When you attain this on the individual level, when you clean up your own reality, when everything is in your external reality is in alignment with your eternal self, okay? When that is all in there, what happens is you can see how things operate on the external. And like I was talking about, that you can see how harvesting even happens. And you can see, like in that movie They Live, like you can put your glasses on, is when you can see what's happening on the external. So now what you have is you have your own individual experience. Then now you can apply towards the totality, or like for that. So I don't know how else to explain, but then the truth on that level, it does exist for the totality of humanity. On the collective level, the truth does exist. But the truth in this, and then each individual here holds the truth, or that anchors the truth in here, from that level, from the spiritual level, from the spirit world. So this is what the shaman, in a way, can do. And this is what shamans done for ages, right? Is they go into all these three different worlds. You can go into a higher world, you can in a middle world, and into the underworld, right? And so the shamans know, and this is the warrior. Once you're the warrior, so you're like a sword. There's nothing, it's just, it's your reality. And so whatever doesn't fit in that reality, there's could be a reason for it. Okay. So when something, like I said, on a personal level, when something bothers you, explore that feeling. Let it rise up. Allow that entanglement that you feel is there, allow it to rise up. I had some experiences people shared with me. And so sometimes it's like when you allow it, something, because what's going to happen with this blood code activated, and what's going on with the frequencies sort of clearing out, and we're with the sun and earth, and on what happens, and how we, like I said, we're flipping frequency because they're inside out and upside down. So we're flipping them within ourselves. Then it's just going to be keep flipping on the external, and then it's going to expand and expand and expand, and so it's going to keep flipping. And but where was I gonna go? Shit, forgot. The totality of human consciousness. And so then the truth is rising from within each individual, and once it's standing within you in all three worlds, then it is anchored on that level, on the collective level. And so, and it takes 10% of human beings to anchor it on that level, and then that's it. That's then the grid, the living grid, is then fully operational. And so that's ultimately what I talk about, that by 2024, we should be at that point at 10% definitely or more. And so, and then from that, it's gonna snowball. And those that can never awake, they'll never will awake. Like I talked last time about my confused Russians, because see, the confused Russians wanted to that everything is a lie, everything's inverted. And the thing is, they wanted to scare the world, right? So everybody's afraid of Russians, right? But when the world doesn't operate on fear, like what is all of that? Like when you take the fear out of the reality, how is that going to be grandiose, scary, or anything? It's nothing. It's pitiful. It's pitiful, right? So you allow enlightenment, right? YouTube account. You allow a Gates, 200-year-old Gates. Well, it's cycles. The universe has cycles, just like nature has cycles, right? And so a lot of people learn about that. And I'm not saying that some of those things, and a lot of books and a lot of people even that wrote about even aliens and stuff, there's a lot of information there. There's a lot of disclosures there. There's a lot of clues about how the control system works, how they use all this information, how club idiots operate, all of that stuff. There's a lot of information there. But once, like I talk about, but once you stand anchored in your true self, then everything is sort of falls into place for you. And even on a collective level, like we were talking about just now, right? You will see that avalanche where it is that your experience in this incarnation, how does it apply in on that level? How does it apply? What does it do? You can see, like I was talking about, you guys, you will see the fruits of your labor, so to speak, because you will see that that level of thinking, that or your awakening, sort of being your own awakening process. You'll recognize it reflecting in the collective. You'll see it sort of starting pick up and start sprouting, like your seeds, that you planted even years ago and did something. You'll see things sprout. You'll see things, in a consciousness, uh, there's just going to be something new, it seems, although there's nothing new, but there is this. You'll see in that a reflection of your work, of your struggles. You will see that, it's going to be a lot easier for people to go through that, because you will see it that you did it years ago and there was not a lot of people, and so you were that 10% of people that I talk about in 2014 that are here to do this. And a lot of you know that this is your mission, is to wake up, to do something for the collective. And this is what a lot of you talk about, is that, what is it that you can do for, it's like the new age, the divine idiots over there. Service to self and service to others, the inside out and upside down, right? So they talk about controlling the masses. That's basically what they're talking about with that. Well, whatever they put behind David Welcock, you might as well just tattoo on your big freaking forehead, divine idiot, and we'll be all happy. Just enough already. So they're talking about, this is inside out. So what they're talking about collectivism. They're talking about slave structure, how it operates. They're talking about communism, uh, This is what they're talking about. This is the same spirit. This is the anti-human spirit. Because what they're talk about is service to others is basically from the parasitic perspective. Do you understand? They're saying, you should be feeding us. We have the right to exist. We're here too. So if you got the life force, that means you should be giving it to us. That's what service to others mean. You should be giving some energy, some life force to us because we don't have any. So that's basically what's happening in their structure. But it's parasitic structure because when you know and you've worked through your own parasitic structures in your own relationships, and like I said, every one of us at some point, because 85% of people have a narcissistic tendency. So you ran into a few of them in your life. So so you've experienced that. So once you undo, and you're the only one who knows how to undo that, because this is the thing, you guys, and this is what I talk about. It's what humanity needs to come to understand. It comes on in this freedom, attaining your own freedom comes on the individual level. It comes on the, you have to do it. You have to put in the work. You have to stop the cycle of abuse within your own self, and then you have to stop it on the external. You have to start first of all, you have to stop self-abuse, because so many people have self-abuse. Let me give you this a little example, right, on this, and what's happening with the totality of human consciousness and how I watch it, because I do watch it from different perspective. So there was a video not long ago that went viral on social media, and it was a video of a priest hitting a little baby, not even a year old, I don't think. And there was my mother and dad. It was a christening of the baby. And so, and it went viral, and the priest hit the baby. You guys know what I'm talking about, right? You've seen it. It was like a month ago or so. So I'm watching, like, what are people upset about? People are all upset. Oh, how he can do it, that priest. Somebody should do something. Somebody should did this. Well, how can they do this? The church, what a bad church. And that's not what I am looking at. I'm looking the whole time. I'm looking at the mother. I'm looking at the mother. This is her baby, not even a 1-year-old baby. The mother and the father stand there. And the figure of authority that they believe is authority is abusing their just, I don't know, that baby was like 6 or 7 months old baby. Abusing her baby right in front of her eyes. And I'm looking at this mother. Where's the mother? Where's the mother? There is no mother. There's a zombie standing there, pretending to be mother to this child. But it's a zombie standing, and next to her, who's supposed to protect the children, stands the same zombie idiot father, and did nothing. Didn't move one finger. This is what I look at. This is the state of humanity. For all the world to witness this truth of abuse, Why is that mother, who is supposedly Christian, who's supposedly read, that if anybody hurts a child, an innocent child, it's better for them to what? Put a rope around your neck and tie a rock to your neck and throw yourself into the river. Did that mother, Christian mother, read that? Oh, no, she didn't. Oh, yeah. Oh, maybe she did read that. But why is she even there selling her child's soul to someone who's starting abusing that child from the minute that mother had given that soul of her child that cannot make decision for himself to the church? And I guarantee you that her mother did the same thing. And so the abuse keeps continuing for the whole world to see. And you know what? Everybody started being so upset at church. Really? And what about at the zombie mother? What about the zombie father? What about a zombie grandmother? What about zombies that are standing around that consider themselves family that's supposed to protect that child? They are not there. Nobody. None of them. In the house of freaking God, none of them had the guts to stand up and protect a baby because they don't have it. This is the state of human consciousness. Zombies. Zombies. And they think that it's not the Antichrist that they're worshiping. You see what we're dealing with? So you're talking about 10%? It took all this just to bring this to this kind of awareness, because this is what we got. We've got zombies everywhere. It's all good, right? In the world. It's all good. I'm telling you. And so you just go, oh my God, if I was there, you know what I would do? If I was there and something like that would happen, oh my. What would it be? Oh my God, the other day, Mormons knocked on my door and they started talking about their prophets. The prophets that married the 12-year-olds. And these two girls, I don't know if they were even 20, maybe not even 20, maybe barely 20 years old. They started telling me about these prophets and everything. So I hit them with this. So I think I scared them really well. So I don't know. One of them, I think, walked away crying, but I don't know. So I go, okay, girls, let me tell you something. Okay. You prophets, I know. They got married to underage girls, right? Yeah. Okay. So again, I hit them. How come they're not putting a rock around their neck and jumping into the river? I said, they what? Didn't read the book? I read it. I didn't like that they come to my door. So the next thing I said, well, next time you feel like you want to come knock on my door, if you have this news that your prophets start listening to what Jesus said and actually start doing what Jesus said. And so next time your prophets jump into the river with the rock around their neck, then you're welcome then to come on my door and knock and tell me that good news that your prophets had finally started to listen to what Jesus told them to do. And they didn't know what to say. I said, that'd be great. That'd be great if they could start listening to Jesus, your prophets. Anyway, but this is what it's all kind of sort of so the truth on this levels, it's just it cannot be hidden anymore because it's just all inside out and you can't hide it. Okay. And so this is what so we're going to be witnessing a lot of things that are but like I said, those of you that done your own personal attainment and you're here watching this unfold, because you know if it happened for you, that means it will happen for humanity, right? And so here we are. And so you know it's coming. You can feel it in your bones. I can feel it in my bones, you guys. I can feel it in my bones, this sort of pressure and all of these things, and this energy is just going to be all unraveling. Oh my God. Jose, you said you live in Utah and Mormons. Oh my God. Oh, it ain't going to be pretty for them. It ain't going to be pretty. I can tell you that much because of the abuse and what's going on with the abuse, and how the loopholes and all the money. There's a lot of money involved in that. So a lot of money. So through around the world, blood money, actually. So there's going to be some things unfolding. A lot of people are not going to be happy. They're going to feel like it's judgment. They're going to feel like they're attacked. Like before, you know, people going to scream, oh, they're attacking me. Lila's attacking me. Okay, you guys, oh my God, 57 minutes. You guys have any questions? Anything you want me to confess about? Any like weird questions? I'm gonna go for it unless they cut me out. So you'll see a lot of things unfolding, and so that we will witness the truth sort of rising to the surface. And so stay strong, you guys, and stay focused. Stay focused on that um, potential for human consciousness and how you can apply your gifts. And just, you know, it's all work in silence and things like that. But don't forget to celebrate. You know, to celebrate the new age. Really do, because your creation will start multiplying a lot, like it will start expanding a lot faster, a lot more. So you know it's just gonna bring a lot more changes, faster changes. The fires in Australia, okay, we have a few things going on there. There is natural things that's going on, and then there is also some technology that's being used to fight, and there's sort of like technological fight. Here's your Space Force crap. But no, it's there's the technology that are using over there and all of that, because you guys know Australia is a big deep state swamp. There's a lot of swamp creatures there. Okay, so in Australia, and they do a lot of things. So uh, because they're so when people are And when the beast is cornered, when the animal, because these people are like animals. They do, in which way? When people don't have compassion, okay? Because this is where a human being is an animal too. We have all of that. We have the reptilian brain. We have all the, all of this other things, and even, um, um the wolf and all of that is within our DNA too. But um what when you I lost what I was talking about. Oh, but when these people, right, they're compassionless. They can see beyond survival. It's like it's only survival for them. And they're very evil in their nature. So survival for them means keep abusing humanity, keep shedding blood, keep doing all this stuff, keep creating this misery, because they feed on misery. It's a parasitic structure. So they gotta keep creating misery. And so what they do is, at least, when they're cornered like that, but because they don't have compassion, they don't care what they do to animals. Well, at least they're gonna feed on that, because that's the parasitic structure. So they'll do a lot of damage, and they'll create additional chaos that is not necessary. Some chaos is natural, because when there is a transformation happening, that it's natural. But parasitic, right, Lance? Parasitic mind control. It's this is what happens. Yeah. And so when they're cornered like that, imagine that. And they're animalistic. They're only they only want uh, violence, negativity, and all of that. So of course they're gonna act in that way. So some of those fires are started for that reason, is to create some of it to cover up things. Some will try to run and try to, get rid of the evidence. I mean, it's just a lot of chaos. And so when there is a chaos, it hits people on the individual level very weird. And so people act up, and some people want, when they go down, they want to take the whole world down with them. So you have to keep that in mind. These people, that they don't have compassion, they don't think twice about, killing or anything. It's just that they're possessed by non-human forms. So that's just it. So you just kind of see what they are, but eventually, because they operate on that parasitic mind control, and it's a collectivism type of thing, right? So you see the signs really quickly, and it's so all gonna, but it's all coming out just kind of as for what it is. It's not no longer scary or anything. It's so yeah, and chaos creates opportunity. And rules the fearful. Absolutely, Lance. Is so well said. It does. And so for those that have fear, but for those that see, it creates opportunity for you to see where you can apply your gift, and where you can apply what you have, and the energies that you have. And so just, create that reality, your immediate reality. Make sure that it's, because I'm telling you guys, it's really like, it's for me. So I'm sharing this. I'm not saying that it's like, do this. I'm in a way talking to myself too. Because I'm just living through this. So I'm talking through all this stuff as I'm going through it. So like, to create that really tight sort of space for yourself, to where you know exactly where your energy goes. don't have any holes in your energy, where, or like I call blinders. Because even like for me, even right now, it's just people come and go, and I know that people try to come, you know, to sort of to see, you know, contact you for future stuff, and like, or sessions or something. That I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about that some people will show up out of nowhere, but they have such a evil intent. And it's like sometimes when you're comfortable and you seem like I was pretty comfortable for, I get like, I'm aware of pretty everything, and I know that I'm like aware of this and that, and then you just, you get blinder and you don't even know, and somebody shows up and you're like, okay, everything's good in my reality, and then all of a sudden it's like a poison's been injected into your reality, and you couldn't predict it, you couldn't see it. And so it like happens to me a couple of times in the last few months, and it's just been strange. So I don't know, it's weird. Anyway, I don't know if any of you had anything like that. It's just so strange. It's just I try to like really have my reality being so like, so in harmony with with me, with my, my authentic self, who I am, me, just me, and then just something just comes in, and it's like a little shot of poison. Yeah, hidden enemies like still sometimes comes through, is like, wow. So yeah, this work, it keeps happening. It's amazing to see actually this kind of awareness and this kind of things that come into the surface on the collective level. So I'm excited about, you know life to come for a collective. It's not, yeah, it's chaos, and it's going to be a lot of things going on, and so yeah, you said satellites, lens, you mentioned satellites involved. Yeah, and so that's what I talk about when I talk technology. There's a lot of it out there, so that's why I say Space Force stuff has to do with that. um Okay, Diane, you said, Lily, do you think the Babylonian system will be completely brought down? Is that part of what you're here to do? Yes, Babylonians no more. um, See, the Babylonian system, it's that timeline that's ended. And this is why I said we're in a new timeline, because the Babylonian timeline has ended. And that means all the Babylonian genetics. Well, not. And if you guys remember, and Diane, I know you remember my interview um, in September of 2014. And when I talk about what was going to happen, um, I said that people that are here for harvesting only, that means, or this is the Babylonian system, that's the harvesting system. They will no longer be able to incarnate into this reality. And so they'll be staying in there. I guess this is what you can say, that in Bible it says that they will be um, um, the hell will be closed, right? So they won't be able to operate in the physical form here. And I don't even know if they're going to be able to be present in that, because there's not going to be no vibrations available for them at all, because they only thrive in misery and suffering. And so and when humanity, because once the 10%, when and you get the power, the inner power, then on the collective level humanity has to rise up. And this is what the phoenix rising, humanity rising up to take the responsibility of restructuring and getting rid of, stopping all the cycles of abuse. I'm talking about spiritual, emotional, psychological, physical, all of the abuse cycles. It has to all end. It is not allowed, in higher reality. It's just not allowed. And so all of that has to drop, and we're moving into this renewed state together, together on that level. And so we're going to be creating our timeline, as I say, because the Babylonian timeline is going space dust. This is what I talk about, the Babylonian timeline, the space dust. So anyway, you guys, so it's been over an hour. Let me see any other questions. Right, Lance. The more awareness, the more reality shifts. Absolutely. Absolutely. All right, you two, you said yes, random poison, but it seems like something protects me. Is that me or is that angel's protection? It's you, but it's your own angel. You can think of it as your own, but it's within you. Think of it as like, as I talk about, your angels are your ancestors. Okay? That's your ancestors. And your ancestors run in your blood. So that's your angels. So yeah, in your blood, and the spiritual that this is why the I talk of blood codes, because that it has a spiritual nature, and that's why the parasites also do what they do with blood. So as within, so without. Absolutely, Lance. All right. Nick Rockers, he said, I'm starting to see people starting to think about reality in life, but they have no basis of light uh, to reference. So they start having fear about their existence. Yeah, there's a lot of that, and a lot of like what I call stand down programs and all divine idiots out there running around spreading fear to people about them taking control. So they want them to not, so they can have the external forces control them. So with this is what happens, and when people start turning inwards, it can become overwhelming, because all of that, and you go, oh my God, how am I, all these problems, and you see them on the collective level because you're focusing on that through your research. And so you're, and then because that's what happens, you've seen all these problems that brought you to the rock bottom. This is what happens. And this is that moment when you turn around and you go, and this is what, and it can be at first, a lot of people can turn and just and then that fear scares the shit out of them, and they go into what I call this denial stage, right? And then they stay in the denial stage, and then they'll work it through their own fear eventually. So just leave them alone, let them be in their own fear. What I speak up about is those divine idiots out there that are spreading fear so they can slow down the awakening, because that's the only way they can do it, is they can slow down. As if they can slow down, so they're grabbing like to each individual that are waking up, they're gonna send, like I said, even for me now, I'm still getting this poisonous things in, somehow injected into my reality here and there, and so these people immediately will get injections of fear. Someone will show up and they'll inject them with so much fear, because they'll slow down, put them in denial, and then these people will keep them in that denial. This is the Alex Joneses, they keep you in anger with the megaphone, and it'll just keep you in that anger frequency, so you producing that loosh for the invaders, and so this is what they want you to do, because they don't want you to turn inwards. And then but when you do, then the fear can be replaced by feeling really overwhelmed. Because what happens is, when you hit the rock bottom, like I said, you see in the bigger picture problem. You see the bigger picture. So that's when it hits you so hard. But you then turn around and you say, what can I do about it? And you're like, you go, there is nothing I can do about it. So some people go, oh, and we need a savior. We need aliens. Where's our aliens? Or savior, we need savior, right? Or this or that. And so the fear just completely creates chaos in that individual. So it completely like shatters everything. So there is no focus, there's only fear. And so then this denial is rather, I don't deal with anything. And so, but that overwhelming feeling, just when you feel it, okay, just think of it that you feeling it. It's all within you. It's all within you. All of that knowledge, all of the thing, you hit the rock bottom of understanding. So it's all here. You came to that point of awakening, true awakening. So when it hits you, right, it could be very overwhelming. It could be completely like it feels like it just feels like you lost all your power. You hit rock bottom. That's what this is like stages of awakening, and we go through a couple of those, and just you go through a different level, and then you go through a different level, and it seems like for me it's never ending. So I try to have fun with those things when it's really confusing things and it's like overwhelming. I get excited and all of that stuff, and so it's just and I start, just I can just go and walk for hours in nature and just let the trees, like, do their thing or something. So when things like that happen, because you're gonna see things on the collective level, but you've experienced that and you will feel that on a personal level. Just like I said, if you still feel pressure, but then you will feel this, there's going to be an overwhelm once the truth on that level just kind of starts floating. The floodgates are open, and so you're going to feel it again, like you feel the pressure of the collective on that level, but you feel it on an individual level. Same thing here, but you feeling that on the individual level, but you feeling the truth of the totality. And this is this is why individual attainment is like step by step. It's so important to get to the point to where you master it, to where you become then that reflection of that ultimate or the higher potential for human being, and you become the reflection for the collective or for the totality of human consciousness. And so this is ultimately what all the shamans are here to do in this time, in this period, in this quickening period. So I thank you guys so much for joining me. I hope um, I answer all your questions. Hi, Teresa. Aloha, aloha. Um, yeah, I've been here way over an hour. So thank you guys. It's been an interesting few days for me, last few days. So a lot of things I have experienced. Sort of my own a new sort of bulb went off in my head again. So I am still processing this on how. So I'm gonna be talking in the future a little bit more about how to like unfold your individual sort of gift, and how it can be unfolded sort of better, not better, or um with so it gives you sort of a better reward, or how to find ways to how your gift applies. Because I'm just kind of, because this is how I'm working. I'm going through this myself, and as I am like having this little things pop up and make sense to me, I kind of want to share them with you, because I know you guys are going through this too. I know you do. I know you do. I feel, oh, so many of you, especially at night when I go into that deep, super conscious state. Oh my God, there's so much of this living light sparks. Oh my God, fireworks. Talking about fireworks in the sky. Oh my. Talking about Space Force. Woo! Aren't we strong, darlings? Oh my God, we're so strong, so courageous. So I thank you guys so much for being with me on this journey. It is amazing. It is a little overwhelming, but it's so bright. It's so beautiful, you guys. Just stay true to yourself, follow that joy, have a few laughs. And until next time, stay wild, everybody. Mwah. Love you all.